Skeleton Key here. December 2021 is quickly drawing to a close, and I really need to get serious about putting together my 2022 reading plans. I need to seriously face up to what I can and cannot do in the next few days before New Year's, and what needs to roll over into the new year, and what I need to make fresh starts with. Yeah, but for right now, let's just start with looking at what my book club reading looks like in January. So this is what the actual list looks like at this point. So we've got La Peste, which is The Plague by Camus, and that is actually not going to be a January read. We're pushing it out. We're pushing that meeting out because of Omicron, and yeah, considering just how long it's taking me to get through La Belle et la Bête, if I hope to have La Peste finished in time to discuss it at book club, I'm going to have to start reading it in January. I should probably start reading it now, actually, but first I want to finish La Belle et la Bête. Then we've got Pan's Labyrinth, so that's one that I need to download off of Hoopla, and that is for LHR Society. Airborne is for my local neighborhood book club. So I already have a copy of that from the book club kit. The Storyteller, I have that on audiobook from Libro FM, and that is for Stranger Than Fiction, which is the nonfiction book club that I belong to, and that is totally virtual. Then Temporal Textual Talks, A Master of Gin by P. Jelly Clark, and that is this gorgeous thing right here. It's going to be so awesome. Steampunk, yay! Cover Her Face by P.D. James. And that is a debut mystery for the Mystery Book Club. No, yeah, here's Airborne. So more steampunkiness, I think. A Song for a New Day by Sarah Pinsker. For Strange Worlds, I have that on order at Old Firehouse. Hopefully I'll have that within a day or two. And then for Fucked Up Book Club, I've got Detransition Baby, which I am on the waiting list at the library for that one. Honestly, it doesn't sound like something I will enjoy, so I'm not going to buy it. Yeah. And then Depart, which I believe is available on Hoopla, so I'll see if I can source that way. And then for Genreland, it's Women in SF is the prompt or the theme or the genre or whatever you want to call it. So some of these would count for that. But just to make sure, I'll probably add in Ancillary Justice or Network Effect or something. Because, I mean, SF, that's kind of broad. But, yeah, I'll come up with something. So, yeah, this is not going to be in my complete list. But what I'm going to do at this point is see if I can figure out what other reading challenges these books will help me make progress on. Oh, yeah, here is Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. That's Old Town Library's book club. Oh, and that's handy. It tells me right there it's a #1 New York Times bestseller, because that kind of thing keeps popping up on reading challenges, and I hate that because I think bestseller lists in general are just marketing ploys, and they're not reactive. They're just, I don't like them. And so I hate being like herded that direction. Okay, so I'm working on my January TBR, and just the other day I joined the Read Your Shelf challenge for 2022, and that one is to randomize your bookshelves and in a certain way, and you have to kind of do it based on how many shelves you have. I'll put the link down below so that you can see exactly what's involved there, but that's on the Gather Together and Read blog. So I'm going to go ahead and do my January pick. And now I have 5 shelves. I'm restricting myself to my wall of shame, which I don't have it all together and in order yet, but I'll show it to you. You can see it here behind me. I'll show you in a little more detail, and we will randomize it to there are 5 shelves, and we'll just randomize those suckers and pick a book that will be my January read. So it's 1 book a month, but you randomize your shelves basically. So let's go take a look at that. Okay, so I started putting it in alphabetical order, and you can see I've got some A's here and some B's. But then I started putting, if they had more than one author, like anthologies or like some of these, that's just co-written by, like that one there is written by William Gibson and Bruce Sterling. They collaborated on that. I mean, some of those, it's like, I'm not going to read an entire freaking omnibus. But if I get that, I'll kind of deal with that as we go. But yeah, I've got some nonfiction. I was trying to put them in alphabetical order by author, and then it just weren't fitting on these shelves. And yeah, so I'm double stacking, and yeah, you can't even see what I've got back there. And this is my second shelf. And these are all books that I have started at some point and then set aside for whatever reason, and I have not actually DNF'd them. I'm not like, no, I'm not doing this. And I will not be including the Kindles. I've got 2 Kindles. Will not be including those, but everything else we've got here. Now you see why I call it my wall of shame. And here we go, more. Although the Silent Patient, I may well DNF. I've got some chonkers on there too. Dang. Alright. So we've got 5 shelves. So let's go randomize. Okay, so I've got a D10, and the 0 is 10. Roll the D10, divide by 2. That's 3. So round up. And that is this shelf. Okay, first let's just randomize whether it's going to be the stuff standing up like that or the double stacks like those. So I've got my D4. So if it's a 1 or a 2, it will be the one standing up in the back. If it's a 3 or 4, it'll be the double stacks. That is a 4. Double stacks. Well, that's easier. Okay, I've got those into 2 stacks of 8. So again, I'm going to roll my D4, and if it's 1 or 2, it's this stack. If it's 3 or 4, it's that stack. That is a 3. So this stack, and now I will roll a D8, and we will count from the top down. There's my D8. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? A novel by Philip K. Dick. Okie dokie. Okay, so I've got Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep for my Read Your Shelf challenge for January. And then I found out Winterween is January 3rd through the 9th. And I did Winterween last year. It was a ton of fun. I love Summerween, Winterween, Camp Weekendween. They're all great. And I missed the video. It's Gabby at Gabby Reads and Olivia at Olivia Reads a Latte. And I just totally missed the announcement video. So I went ahead and I just now ordered my shirt, Winterween shirt. It's really cute. Snowflake design and everything. It's really neat. I won't have it in time though, because I missed the boat. You don't have to have a shirt to join in the fun. So, and there are 5 prompts. So let's see. The first is read a book in the dark or at night. I will probably do an audiobook, and that way I can read it at night and or in the dark. The first audiobook that I'm planning to listen to already in January is Pan's Labyrinth. So that seems like an appropriate thing to read in the dark. So then the second prompt, read a book with a winter setting. I had been planning to read this like this week, but Twelfth Night, and okay, yeah, there's the Shakespeare play Twelfth Night, but one of the prompts that I'm just not getting to this month, for Pop Sugar? No, maybe it was Pop. Now I can't remember. I think it was Pop Sugar. Or no. Maybe Read Harder. Anyway, there was a prompt on a challenge to read a fanfic, and so I was like, well, let's see what AO3 has. Because I'd never been on AO3 before, but I'd heard good things. So I went on there and I was seeing, I mean, they have fanfic for pretty much any fandom. And they had Downton Abbey fanfic. I'm like, oh, I didn't know there was Downton Abbey fanfic. And then I saw somebody did a Downton Abbey Poirot fanfic. It's 12th Night. It's set between seasons 5 and 6. And it's basically the New Year's episode, like a missing episode kind of thing. And it's, canon compliant to both universes. And so I'm like, okay. So I've downloaded that. I had planned to read it this week, but then I'm like, well, 12th Night isn't until January. So I will be reading 12th Night in January, very early January. Read a book with snow on the cover, and this is an arc that I got a long time ago. It still isn't the oldest arc on my shelves, but yeah, this is what the release date on this was, March 27th, 2018. But there is obviously snow on the cover. Ice Wolves by Amy Kaufman, but this is YA or middle grade, I'm not sure. Ages 8 through 12. So yeah, this is middle grade fantasy. So that'll be nice. So next is read a novella. And I was thinking that I had novellas on my reading list, but I was looking at it, for book clubs. I was looking at the list and I was thinking either Detransition Baby or Depart. Depart is actually really short. It's like 80 pages. So it's more of a novelette. It could probably, nobody's gonna, there aren't readathon police that are gonna come, cart me away for calling a novelette a novella, but still. And Detransition Baby is like several hundred pages, 300 and some, I think. So, So man, we're reading both of those next month for Effed Up. But I have come to the realization that I am not finishing La Belle et la Bête this month. I could make it really close, but it's just, I'm not going to make it all the way. Today is the 29th of December, and I've got stuff to do. So I'm going to be doing, I have a few books picked out that I'm really going to push to finish, but La Belle et la Bête, and as I've discussed before, I'm considering that, well, actually, I don't think I've posted that yet. You'll probably see this before you see that, but I consider it's a fairy tale, but it's like 100 and some pages, and I would, it doesn't really read like a fairy tale. So, and then this is the original Villeneuve version. I would count that as a novella. And read a book that gives you thrills and chills. There are probably several on here that would count. I think probably the first one will be Airborne. And that is my neighborhood book club read. And if it doesn't thrill or chill me, then I will pick something else. But that's my plan. And then I have several books that are rolling over again from my personal reading challenge. I really need to figure out how I want to do my personal reading challenge going forward. Because right now what it is I take all of the challenge prompts from all challenges that I failed in the year, in this case 2021, and I roll them over to the next year as my personal challenge. And I've got 5 that I've been rolling over several years in a row now. And yeah, so I'm gonna prioritize those because my I don't completely have my personal reading challenge finalized, but it looks like it's going to be somewhere around 85 books for 2022. And that's by far my most ridiculous challenge. And that's how I end up here at the end of December going, oh crap. So I'm going to just roll them over this year. And I don't know, I will reevaluate later in 2022 and we'll just see what I'm thinking. I don't know. Not real sure what I'm going to do with that. But ones that I'm definitely rolling over because there's no way I'm going to finish them in the next couple of days. See, those are a book longer than 700 pages. For that, I had been thinking Mao, I had been thinking A Place of Hiding, but what I'm going to go with is Seven Eves by Neil Stevenson, because there's one of the other challenges, Pop Sugar perhaps, that has a requirement to read a book that has a palindrome title. And Seven Eves is a palindrome. And it's also a really big book. And I had been thinking, oh, well, I'd like to read Seven Eves, but wow, that's a long book. Well, I need a long book in January. So, Seven Eves it is. And I can't remember if I have that one on audio. I might have it on audio from Audible, but it might also be an ebook. I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up. But I do already have a copy of it somewhere. Then The Oldest Ark You Own. That's still Right as Rain. And yeah, so I still have that from, what was that, 2004? That was a long time ago. Then a book published on your birthday in a year, and that is The Silkworm by What's-Her-Face. And then a lit RPG book. I've still got that Rift Worlds Online space opera insertion. So that will count for that. And then a family member's favorite book. And my family members also don't like the word favorite because, But The Family Trade is a book that Brian has been trying to get me to read for a very long time. So I'm counting that. Just cause. And then I have my other prioritizations, but I will worry about those later. And I also have some library books that I won't be returning this week. 3 of those are on Secret TBR, so I'm not going to tell you about those. And one of them is The Cabin, what is it? The Cabin at the End of the World? I think that's the title. That was a book club read a while back and I didn't get it finished, but I still have the library book. I should be able to renew it another time or two if I need to, but I'm gonna go ahead and roll that over to my January reading list. A Swim in a Pond in the Rain. That's my next up book for that Penguin Random House reading horoscope thing that was starting off pretty awful, and it was supposed to be for 2021, and I got about 4 books in, and I'm gonna just roll the whole rest of it over to 2022, and I finished them when I finished them, because I was trying to kind of go in order, but anyway, A Swim in a Pond in the Rain, I actually bought myself a hard copy because it was so interesting, and I wanted to write in the margins and things like that, which I'm sure Cynthia at The Eclectic Reader would scold me for, but I need to be putting together my list of 20 books for hopefully a BookTube spin. Oh, and Becca's Bookopoly-thon. Yeah, I'll probably do a separate little video for that. Okay, I think I can wrap up my January TBR now. As I mentioned the other day, I picked up A Song for a New Day by Sarah Pensker, and Detransition Baby by Tori Peters, which I've already DNF'd because it is just not my jam. It's about like motherhood and really bad relationships. I am sad though because there was a Pop Sugar prompt last year to read the book on your TBR with the ugliest cover, and I took TBR to mean my monthly TBR, so every time I'd make a TBR I would pick a book with the ugliest cover, and I went all year and never actually read the book with the ugliest cover that month. So this, I'm pretty sure I will double check and see if there's an uglier cover, but I'm sorry, this is a really ugly cover. This whole style, it seems to be really popular right now, so in their defense, it seems to sell, but I don't like that. It just, that whole style, the weird colors, and I don't know, I suppose, is it supposed to be like Picasso-esque? I think that's really ugly. And yeah, I'm not real happy with this cover either. But I still think it's better than that one. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I've got something on that shelf though that's hiding, and I'll look at it and go, oh my god, that's uglier than both of those. So I do sort of a trifold kind of thing to kind of list out my reading for the month and kind of put it into some semblance of order, and I've got it divided into a print column, an audio column, and an ebook column. So let's just start with the ebook column. There's a Secret TBR book, then Twelfth Night, which is not the Shakespeare one, but that's the fanfic one by, I think the author's name is Jolie Black, and it's the Poirot Downton New Year's special between seasons 5 and season 6, lost episode, and it's fun, and it's had a super twisty plot so far. I don't know how far. I'm not quite halfway through, and I'm just like, I have no idea how this is going to shake out. La Belle et la Bête. Still really want to give that a go. And then when I finish that, I need to start right in on La Peste, which is The Plague, Camus, for book snobs, because that's going to take me a while to get through, judging by how long it's taking me to get through La Belle et la Bête. Then Depart, and then Her Last Flight. So those are the. So I don't have a whole lot of ebooks slated for January. Then audio, I did finish listening to The Near Witch by V.E. Schwab. And that was her debut novel. And then I just finished up yesterday, I think, listening to Pan's Labyrinth, The Labyrinth of the Fawn. The title in English and I think several other languages is Pan's Labyrinth, but that's very misleading because it is a fawn. It's just a fawn, not Pan specifically. So why is Pan in the title? I don't know. That really annoys me. And anyway, so then they've had to have the subtitle, The Labyrinth of the Fawn. I'm like, this next one's not a secret TBR, but it is the start of a new video series. I've recorded like an intro to the first video and explaining the whole thing. But anyway, it is The Planet Savers / The Sword of Aldanese. And that is the first, if you're going in publication order, those are the first two novellas in the Darkover series. And so The Planet Savers is going to be my Winterwing novella. Because I have a feeling I will finish it before I finish La Belle et la Bête, which was originally my plan for Winterwing novella. For Stranger Than Fiction book club is The Storyteller by Dave Grohl. I am enjoying that. I knew virtually nothing about Dave Grohl. I was like, oh, I didn't know he was the drummer for Nirvana. I did not know this. And he seems like a good dude. Then Charms and Chocolate Chips, which is not itself for a book club, but I need to get caught up on that series. That's the Magical Bakery series for the for one of the Sisters in Crime book clubs later this year. So I'm pretty much just like reading one of those a month so that I can get caught up. Then Seven Eves, I did find it. I do have it on Audible. And that's by Neil Stevenson. Oh, Charms and Chocolate Chips is by Bailey Cates. And then we get to my books that I have downloaded on Overdrive, the Overdrive app on my phone from the Audiobook Sync, the summer reading program. And, you know, it's like 20-some free downloads of audiobooks. And technically, I suppose it's borrowing them, but the return date is like 90-some years in the future or something like that. But the thing is, the Overdrive app, they're going to quit supporting it because they make Libby, and so they're shifting all of their efforts towards Libby. And I don't know if like I will just lose my Overdrive files, or if, you know, something goes wrong with one of them, I'm just out of luck. I'm trying to listen to as many as I can until that goes away, probably sometime in the spring. And so I've just listed 3 to kind of get me started. I've already started listening to Akata Witch and Shadow of the Fox and A Night Divided. And then I also have a bunch that I downloaded onto Sora, which is like Libby but for textbooks. And because they switched to Sora after Overdrive. And so I have a bunch downloaded onto a tablet that is now out of room. So I need to make room on that tablet. So I'm trying to get through a lot of those as well. And so I've started listening to The Raven's Tale, but it's been a while, so I will probably just start that one over again. And also Stay Gold. That one I think counts towards a bunch of different challenge prompts. And then, from that point, after those, because I probably won't even get through all of those, but then I will just kind of see what strikes my fancy or seems to be a good fit for some challenge prompts. All right, now print. Okay, so I've got 2 big stacks here, and I think it'll almost fit on the shelf just like that, but not quite. But we'll give it a go after we go through this. And these are more or less in the order that I need to read them based on library due dates and book club dates and things like that. Ice Wolves by Amy Kaufman. And some of these I'm sure I've talked about already. I'm going to try to keep that to a minimum if I've already talked about it. Airborne by Kenneth Uppel. The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. A Master of Gin by P. Jelly Clark. Very clearly not an ugly cover. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. I know I've talked about this one a little bit. I have been informed, however, that the protagonist is not autistic and she's not called autistic, and that she's more damaged in other ways. So we'll see. I might actually like this one. I don't know. Cover Her Face by P.D. James. A Song for a New Day by Sarah Pensker. And I've got a couple secret TBR books in here that I won't show you. Porpoise by Mark Haddon. The 7 Necessary Sins for Women and Girls by Mona El-Tahawi. And I really don't like that color. Yellow is probably my least favorite color. Yellow and orange, and then the clashing of the colors. Regardless of the gesture. I consider this an ugly cover, but it's not. No, this still uglier. That one. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. So we've got the vintage movie tie-in copy here. Network Effect. I did not bring Network Effect downstairs. I have it up with the special editions and things like that. But anyway, Network Effect by Martha Wells. I'm really behind on reading that series. And also, Genreland, the theme is women in SF. And that is very definitely science fiction. The Mysterious Affair at Styles by Agatha Christie. And of course I've got 2 copies here. Fair Weather by Richard Peck. The Brave by James Bird. Right as Rain. Rift Worlds Online, Book 1, Space Opera Insertion. This is my lit RPG. And I don't have anything against lit RPG. I don't have anything against this book. I don't know why it's been on my TBR for years now, and I still haven't read it. I want to, but I have thousands of books that I want to read. I have a copy. I'm gonna read it. Might as well. The Family Tree by Charles Stross. A Swim in a Pond in the Rain. And this is another book that is not for a Sisters in Crime book club, but the 4th book in the series, or maybe the 3rd. No, I think it's the 4th book in the series, The Mermaid Broker, is a book club book for Sisters in Crime later this year. So I need to finally finish the first 3 books. There we go. Deadly Focus by Sue Hinken. And I think there's one that hasn't come out yet that is later in the year. So at least then I should be all caught up on the series. Now let's see if they fit on the shelves. Woohoo! It almost fits. My physical TBR, at any rate. So I pulled Detransition Baby out because I'm going to return that to the library within a few days here. And then I really need to get moving on Ice Wolves and Airborne. And then I pulled out that extra copy of Mysterious Affair Styles. But then they all fit. Probably won't be able to do that next month. So there you have it. Good to go for the rest of the month. And some. So yeah. Let me know how January is going for you. Are you doing any readathons? Are you gearing up for book clubs? Yeah, what's going on? So chat with me in the comments below. Until next time, please like, subscribe, and see you around.